The 12 Apostles. Ordinary men, extraordinary faith. Have you ever wondered what kind of people Jesus chose to change the world? He didn't pick the rich, powerful, or perfect. He chose fishermen, a tax collector, a zealot, and even one who would betray him. These men were first disciple students, learners, followers of Jesus. But one day, Jesus called 12 of them and gave them a new name, apostles. That word means sent ones. They were sent to preach, to heal, to teach, and to build the early church. Today, we'll look at their stories. Not just what they did, but how God used ordinary men to do extraordinary things. And how their journeys can inspire our own walk of faith. 1. Peter the rock, who fell and rose. His name was Simon, but Jesus called him Peter the rock. He was bold, brave, and sometimes a bit too confident. He walked on water, but then sank. He promised loyalty, but denied Jesus 3 times. Still, Jesus forgave him and gave him a mission: feed my sheep. Peter became a leader in the early church and preached with power. Lesson: even when we fail, God can restore us and use us mightily. 2. Andrew, the quiet connector. Andrew was Peter's brother. He was the first disciple Jesus called. He didn't preach to crowds, but he brought people to Jesus, starting with his own family. His quiet faith laid the foundation for others to believe. Lesson: sometimes the greatest impact comes from quietly pointing others to Christ. 3. James the Greater, the courageous witness. James, the son of Zebedee, was one of the sons of thunder. He was fiery, passionate, and part of Jesus' inner circle. He witnessed the Transfiguration and was one of the first to suffer for the faith. Herod had him executed, making James the first apostle to die for Jesus. Lesson: faith may lead to sacrifice, but that sacrifice never goes unseen by God. 4. John, the beloved disciple. John was James's brother. He started off fiery, but became known for his deep love and devotion. He stayed at the foot of the cross when others ran. He cared for Mary, and he wrote the Gospel of John, 3 letters, and the book of Revelation. Lesson: true love for Jesus brings courage, faithfulness, and vision. 5. Philip, the seeker who questioned. Philip was practical and logical. When Jesus said, "Follow me," he did. But he often asked honest questions. "Show us the Father," he said. And Jesus replied, "If you've seen me, you've seen the Father." Lesson: faith grows in those who seek truth even when we don't have all the answers. 6. Bartholomew, the sincere believer. Bartholomew is also called Nathanael. When he first heard about Jesus, he was skeptical. Can anything good come from Nazareth? But Jesus saw his heart and said, "Here is a man in whom there is no deceit." Bartholomew followed Jesus and likely spread the gospel to distant lands. Lesson: God honors honesty and purity of heart. 7. Matthew, the redeemed outcast. Matthew was a tax collector seen as a traitor by his own people. But Jesus saw more. When he called, "Follow me," Matthew left everything behind. He later wrote the Gospel of Matthew, showing how Jesus fulfilled the promises of Scripture. Lesson: no one is too broken, too rejected, or too far for God's grace. 8. Thomas, the honest doubter. Thomas loved Jesus, but struggled to believe after the resurrection. "Unless I see the wounds, I won't believe," he said. Jesus didn't shame him. He showed Thomas's hands and side. And Thomas cried, "My Lord and my God." Lesson: doubt is not the end. When we bring it to Jesus, it can lead to deeper faith. 9. James the Less, the quiet servant, called James the Less, maybe because he was younger or shorter. We know little about him, no bold speeches or grand